Room 11. Welcome back to History. This video is from May 6th. Today I want to share a couple of verses with you from Hebrews chapter 12. It says, "Therefore, since we are surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and sin which clings so closely, and let us run with endurance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith, who, for the joy that was set before him, endured the cross, despising the shame, and is seated at the right hand of the throne of God." So these verses, written by the writer of Hebrews, just encourage us to continue in the race that we're in. That race is living the Christian life. It's following the Lord Jesus and loving him and growing in him. And I know that right now you might be getting a little weary with all of the online schoolwork and everything. And so I just want to encourage you to hang in there. We're getting close to the finish line and there isn't that much longer left. So just keep working hard, keep running the race. You want to finish well and you want to make the Lord proud of you for the good job that you have done. So just remember to look to Jesus. Ask him to give you the strength that you need to continue on and to do the work to the best of your ability. All right, so today we're going to be filling in the worksheets for the Civil War test review. These were in the packet that you received at packet pickup. They're also in the PDFs. So if you don't have yours, if you weren't able to make it to packet pickup, you can get it out of the PDFs, and if you don't have the capability to print it from the PDF, that's okay too. Just watch the video and you can write it out on paper. So either fill out the worksheet, print off the PDF and fill out the worksheet, or just write it on paper. The important thing is that you have these notes to go over so that you'll be able to study for the test. Okay, this is the first page of the review packet, and the test will be on May 8th. So you'll have today and tomorrow to study and get ready for the test. It will not be an open book or open note test. So on the first page, you need to write the answer in the blank, and if it's a person's name, you write the last name only. However, I want you to write the first name with it, so that's why I put it in parentheses. But when you get to the word search, you're just looking for the last name. So you can pause the video at any time and take your time filling out your worksheet. Number 1, he made a destructive march to the sea. That was William T. Sherman. Number 2, he saved the Union. That, of course, we know was Abraham Lincoln. Number 3, he became president after Lincoln died. That was Andrew Johnson. He was vice president, so he became president when Abraham Lincoln died. Number 4, the northern states grew fewer crops than the southern states, but the North had more factories. Number 5, the battle that was the turning point of the Civil War was Gettysburg. Number 6, the Mississippi River was controlled by the Union after this battle. And remember, that was the Battle of Vicksburg. Number 7, the capital of the Confederacy, it says city only, is Richmond, but I went ahead and put the state also, Virginia. So Richmond, Virginia, remember, was the capital of the Confederate States. And then number 8, the first battle of the Civil War was Fort Sumter. So then, after you get all of those filled in, you can go ahead and do the word search. Right below, it says find and circle each answer from above in the puzzle below. So remember, if it's a name, you'll just find the last name. And then for number 7, it's just the city, Richmond. But then for 8, you will need to find both words, Fort and Sumter. All right, again, stop the video whenever you need to so that you can get all of that filled in. Okay, the next page looks like this, and it says write at least one important fact about each place. Okay, so number 1 Fort Sumter was the first battle of the Civil War. It's where the first battle took place. And some of these we just covered on our first page, but that's okay. It just gives you a little bit more review. Number 2, Richmond is the capital of the Confederacy. Number 3, Vicksburg is the battle that gave the North control of the Mississippi River. Number 4, Gettysburg is the turning point of the war. Number 5, Appomattox Courthouse is where Lee surrendered to Grant. So that was the site at the end of the war where Robert E. Lee surrendered to Ulysses S. Grant. And sometimes it's just referred to as Appomattox, sometimes it's Appomattox Courthouse. The next part, you need to write at least one important fact about each person. Booker T. Washington started Tuskegee Institute, or founded Tuskegee Institute, either of those would be fine. Number 2, George W. Carver was a scientist who worked with plants. Number 3, Jefferson Davis was the President of the Confederate States of America. Number 4, Ulysses S. Grant was the general who led the Union forces, and Robert E. Lee was the general who led the Confederate forces. Okay, so go ahead and get those filled in. And then the last page continues from the second page. Number 6, Eli Whitney invented the cotton gin. Number 7, John Wilkes Booth was the man who assassinated Abraham Lincoln. The Yankees were the Union Army soldiers, and the rebels were the Confederate Army soldiers. And again, remember, just stop the video whenever you need to. Take your time, get these filled in. Okay, next, you need to write at least one important fact about each thing. So the Emancipation Proclamation was issued by President Lincoln, freeing all slaves in states fighting against the Union. Number 2, the Confederate States of America was the name of the southern states that left the Union. And then number 3, the Merrimack, remember, was the Confederate ironclad ship. And number 4, the Monitor was the Union ironclad ship. And then I underlined the C in Merrimack to go with the C in Confederate, and the N or the ON in Union goes with the N in Monitor. I just did the N in both of those, but that's okay. Whatever helps you keep those straight. And then just a couple things I wanted you to add at the bottom. So the 2 issues that were settled by the war, 1 was that no state could leave the Union, and 2, there would be no more slavery. And then the 2 differences between the North and the South. The South had slavery, they had large plantations and few factories. And then the North had no slaves, and they had factories and small farms. All right, so go ahead and get that all filled in and study that, and then you'll be ready to take the test on Friday. Thank you for watching the video and working so hard. You're doing a great job.